Good afternoon. My name is Buffy. I am the podcaster behind Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress. And so if this is your first time joining in, welcome. The plan is to try to get some sort of women's kind of collaboration group where we all look after each other, support each other, no competition, just trying to level up, right? Because isn't that kind of the goal of life? To end better than when you started, to learn from your mistakes, to learn from your difficulties that you've experienced, to just level up and live the life that you've dreamed that you would, and to show your kids that a good life is possible, a happy life is possible, that all things are possible for those who believe and those that work for the good of others and those that are kind to each other. And I'm a girl's girl, right? I believe in giving a hand up to a woman who needs it. I believe in treating people how you want to be treated. And so what you can expect from me is you can expect honesty. You can expect some levity. At times, I'm a little bit ditzy sometimes. So I know my husband looks at me sometimes and he just like scratches his head like, I know you're smart, but sometimes I kind of question, is what he says. So that's him. But brutally honest sometimes, right? And I'm more of the, I don't like conflict and I don't like to say negative things about people if I can avoid it, because that's just not cool, right? So today's episode, I have many other episodes. Well, not many, but I think about 5. I think this is my 6th. It is sleep as self-care, the most overlooked wellness habit, which honestly, our body regenerates with sleep. So if we're not paying attention and we're not doing what we need to be doing when it comes to the sleep is not optional. I have met people who can thrive on 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night, and they think that they're actually biohacking and like getting by and essentially like cheating the system or cheating the code. They've got the cheat code. There is nothing that is further from the truth. I actually have a family member whose entire family actually was able to survive on like 4 hours sleep. However, it does catch up with them later in age, and it does lead to some pretty negative side effects. There's actually been some evidence that a lack of REM could lead to things like cognitive decline, and people that aren't getting the requisite 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night could actually be doing themselves irreparable harm, because that is when the body kind of regenerates. And so sleep is very, very important. And I know that a lot of you are really big go-getters and have a lot of goals. And with children and spouses and home life and work life, and where's the balance, right? There seems to be no balance. So we wrongly think that we can fit it all in, right? Wasn't that the dream that we were sold when we were kids? We could fit it all in if we wanted to, if we just had enough willpower, if we just had enough drive, if we could get less sleep. Sleep should be a non-negotiable. It is definitely a self-care thing, and your body needs time to just rest and just relax. So here's a question for you. If there were a free 8-hour therapy that boosted your mood, sharpened your mind, balanced your hormones, and strengthened your immune system, would you take it every night? That's exactly what sleep offers. Yet so many of us treat it as optional. Today, we're breaking down why sleep is the ultimate act of self-care and what really happens when we skip it. So guys, like I said, I am Buffy. If you have any questions or you want to contact me for some reason, my username on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are recovering_perfectionist_mama. And I can be reached there if you like. And I'm hoping that we can all kind of join together and make our lives better and help make others' lives better as well. So sleep is an active self-care is what it is. It's not passive downtime. It's not, but it is a vital biological process for physical, mental, and emotional health. I don't think that it's a stretch of the imagination to see the connection between when you're not getting enough sleep, you literally are hanging on by a thread. I know that I am not a pleasant person when I have not gotten my rest. And I know that many of you are probably much like me, right? I remember he was my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband. But he said, the perfect plan, we are going to take a red-eye flight back home from Vegas, and it'll be great, right? We'll just sleep the whole way. Yeah, except I don't like to fly. We literally lost a lot of sleep while we were in Vegas because, Vegas is just go, 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 go. And I truly believe that they do pump oxygen into your casino, into the casino so that you're not wanting to sleep. There's so much activity going on. You don't want to feel like you're wasting your vacation. I mean, there's so much pressure, honestly, probably self-induced pressure. But there's that's going on. And then there's no clocks. And then, if you're not wearing a watch, oh my goodness, it's like 7 a.m. Like I missed like a whole day of sleep. Like how did that happen, right? Because it's go, 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 go. But ultimately, when you do something like that, it's just, you're literally hanging on by a thread. Like you're moody, you're frustrated, everything sets you off. And the other thing is there's no way to really catch up on sleep, Like it's not like a podcast show or a Netflix where you could say, oh my goodness, I missed 4 episodes of XYZ show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in my room until I finish the 4 episodes. Unfortunately, there's not the ability to do that with sleep. And I know we all would be like, okay, I'm going to take a rain check. I will make it up this weekend, But then also I have this kind of self-induced pressure too, to be worried that I'm sleeping too much because I don't want to miss out on life. I don't want to miss out on things, especially summer. Summer is like my favorite season. And so I don't want to be just, not doing anything when the outside is calling and it's beautiful and you can swim and you can go to the beach and you can go wherever you want to go, right? Do whatever you want to do. Be outside, enjoy the weather. So a lot of the pressure we put on ourselves is just as difficult as the pressure that society puts on us sometimes. So why sleep is the cornerstone of self-care? Brain health and mood. I alluded to this earlier when I talked about the cognitive decline and the potential correlation between lack of REM, lack of restful sleep, and the potential to cause issues like cognitive decline. Sleep consolidates memories, it clears metabolic waste, and regulates emotional balance. And don't I know that? Because when I don't sleep, I am cranky, right? Cranky. And it also, I feel like, opens you up to more cravings that you normally wouldn't partake in because you're just so like needing some sort of stimulation. And since you haven't slept, you maybe you drink a lot of coffee, maybe you're eating all the junk food because you just need something to get you through the lack of sleep that you haven't had. It's also a hormonal reset. Deep sleep helps regulate cortisol. And I actually have done, my first inaugural podcast episode was on intuitive eating. And then I also had another episode on cortisol. So if you're interested in that, want to see that link, feel free to check it out. Regulates cortisol, leptin, ghrelin, which is part of the appetite. That was also part of that cortisol episode. And reproductive hormones. So ladies, if you are trying to conceive, it's really important that you try to bone up on all the necessary self-care that you can so that you give yourself a better chance of conceiving. You give yourself, a great plan and a bigger chance of success because as a mother of 5, I remember the conception process and it is very grueling. It is very trying. It is emotional. It is difficult. Sometimes you feel like you're the only person that is going through it, which clearly you're not. You're not alone on that at all. And for those women that are going through that, I do wish you the best of luck. And I hope that you get your rainbow at the end because I think that if you want to be a mother and that's what you want, my heart wants that for you as well because it is a great gift. And it's something that is so like deeply ingrained into a lot of women. Not saying that every woman has to be a mother. I mean, obviously we have our choice of of what we want to do and whether or not we want to be a mother. I mean, that's a personal choice on anyone's part. So I'm not saying one way or the other, but I'm saying that if you want that in your life, I want that for you too. And I hope and I pray that you get the prayer that you've been praying for however long. So the other thing is immune system support. I don't think that it is a coincidence that oftentimes when we start like getting crushed with like crazy illnesses back to back to back to back to back, it's because we're not resting, we're not sleeping, because it lowers our immune system. And so that is part of sleeping too, the immune system support. It gives us better resistance to infections and quicker healing. And don't let anyone tell you, hey, you got to push through, you got to power through it. No, some things are just difficult to power through. Also, performance and creativity, sharper thinking, faster reaction times, and improved problem solving. You know what? I tell you, if you've had a scenario where you've had insomnia for an extended period of time, like there is no way I can focus on anything if I have not been able to rest adequately for several days in a row. I mean, one day in a row, I'm like dragging. 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, I don't even know if I would remember my own name. Seriously, like I just would be exhausted. And the thing is, like we said, you can't really catch up on that. So want to know the cost of skimping on sleep? The short-term effects are irritability. You don't say, right? How many happy people do you know? They're like, hey, yeah, I never have to sleep. I feel great all the time. No way. Brain fog, cravings for sugar and caffeine. Caffeine makes sense. Sugar does too, because the cortisol drops and then there you go. You want an instant hit, a dopamine hit. Weakened decision making. So this might be when some of the MTV show hosts decided to do some of their craziest stunts, right? Like when they rented that rental car and they paid the rental agreement and they literally totaled it. But they're like, hey, we have our rental agreement right here. So yes, we're covered. The long-term risks, increased risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. The obesity makes sense because of the added cravings, as well as the type 2 diabetes, because I mean, your blood sugar is probably all over the place. And that's when the ghrelin comes and kind of takes you by the hand and says, eat whatever you want. Full buffet, all for you, right? And the risk of heart disease, because again, I mean, if you're not resting, then you're not getting the regenerative effect of restorative effect of sleep, which is very important. Accelerated aging of skin and cells, heightened risk of anxiety and depression, again, because you're literally hanging on by a thread and you're frustrated and you're aggravated and everything sets you off. Who wants to live in that constant rat race of being upset and frustrated and annoyed constantly, right? As well as hormonal disruptions affecting fertility and menstrual regularity, which again, I mean, that is another thing that women have to be concerned about, because ultimately, although some of us think that the menstrual cycle is a pain, it is ultimately something that shows us that we are where we should be and that things are going the way that they need to go. The menstrual cycle is kind of like our checking in point, because especially if you're a person who experiences regular 28-day cycles, it kind of worries you if for some reason you haven't had your cycle. Like, does that mean something's wrong? Does that mean there's a fibroid? Does that mean there's, a tumor? I mean, what exactly is going on that is causing this? And then it's a scenario where it says, okay, well, obviously something's going wrong. And then you realize that, oh my goodness, like I've been dealing with, insomnia, then I've been dealing with all these cravings and then all this extra stuff. And it just kind of adds to a reason why sleep is definitely a self-care mechanism and is very important for your self-care. Also, chronic sleep deprivation raises risks of metabolic disorders by over 30%. That is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I know some people say, yeah, my superpower is, I don't need a lot of sleep. No, we all need sleep, whether we want to admit it or not. So let me give you some actionable strategies to prioritize sleep. I know sleep is often at the end of our list. And oftentimes then we find ourselves, I really think that our world here is not really meant to prioritize sleep. I mean, the phones, you find yourselves, I don't know how many of you have this scenario. I literally can be exhausted, like all out exhausted. And then I lay down and my brain wants to talk to me. My brain wants to tell me, oh my gosh, did you remember to do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Do this? Do this? A million things. And then I'm like, it's driving me nuts. So let me check my calendar. Let me see if I did this. Oh my goodness. Like what? Oh my gosh, I forgot this. Oh, I need to do this. And then literally I get this huge spike of energy and I'm literally like, I don't really want to sleep now. Like I want to get up and I want to get this stuff done so that maybe I can rest tomorrow. Can anyone relate to that? Or is it just me and my crazy brain? I don't know. So some of the best things that you can do are set a bedtime ritual, consistent sleep-wake schedule, even on weekends, which I know that even on weekends is a huge bummer. Digital sunset, power down devices 60 minutes before bed. I know, easier said than done. Your environment should be a cool, dark, quiet bedroom. Invest in those blackout curtains or a white noise machine. I actually have the white noise machine, and we still have a little one in our room, and she literally turns it on now, and it does help her go to sleep for sure. Also, nutrition and movement. Limit caffeine after noon and finish workouts at least 3 hours before bed. When I was younger, I was able to actually work out right before bed. I wouldn't really chance it much now just because I know I would be lying awake with all the extra energy that I obtained from the workout. Also, mind calm. Light journaling, breath work, or gentle stretches to signal the body to wind down. And also track and adjust. You can use a journal or a sleep app to monitor patterns and your improvements that you're making. Also, there's no shame in looking at sleep as a gift of self-love, right? It's not the whole mind, essentially we're all thinking that, oh yeah, well, I'm going to get the medal because I'm willing to, I can sleep when I'm dead. I don't need to sleep right now. No, sleep so I can fully live, because sleep is so important to you and should be important to you and your body, how you live, how you thrive, how you survive, how you move forward. You need to have the energy and such to put up with what life's going to hand to you, because you don't know what's going to happen each day, right? And not having sleep makes it harder, tougher, and like you're trudging in mud. Sleep is as essential as exercise and nutrition. An investment, not a luxury. An investment in you. You invest in so many different people. Why aren't you investing in yourself? Sleep isn't time lost. It's time gained in health, joy, and longevity. Don't think about the time that you're going to live. Think about the life in your years that you're going to live. By taking care of yourself and realizing that you have to recharge. How do you use a phone if you don't plug it into its charger? We are the same way. If you don't lie down in your bed and recharge all of your batteries of all of your organs and all of your systems, then you are not going to be able to function, and you are not going to be a fun person to be around. Not that being a fun person is the most important priority, but think about the cognitive decline and the anxiety and the heart disease and the metabolic potential disorders. Not fun. So the first step tonight should be pick a realistic bedtime and stick to it for a week and see how you feel. Bet you would feel better. Also, feel free to share your bedtime routine or sleep wins on Instagram, Recovering Perfectionist Mama, or TikTok or YouTube, Recovering_Perfectionist_Mama, as well. And we can all kind of look at each other's ideas if need be. Sleep isn't just rest. It's the body's most powerful form of self-care. Discover how better sleep transforms your health, your mood, and your energy. And what really happens when you don't make it a priority. Hopefully you never find out, because it doesn't sound like anything fun is going to happen. It's kind of like nothing good happens after midnight. Nothing good happens when you don't lay down and get some rest that you need and you deserve and you've earned. Start your personal sleep challenge tonight. Set a bedtime 30 minutes earlier than usual and commit for 7 days. Share your progress with me on Instagram at Recovering_Perfectionist_Mama. On Instagram or TikTok or even YouTube. Or tag the podcast so we can celebrate these well-rested wins together.